Yeah, so this is the Slightly Interesting podcast.
Nice.
It's just basically conversation and like a kind of relaxed environment and trying to just talk about things going on in people's lives and experiences and anything that can help people.
Yeah.
You asked me a second ago if I've been doing it, so
Yeah.
I've been doing it with different people, but not for myself necessarily.
Right.
Trying to get comfortable with all the gadgets, and it's ever evolving. Before you showed up, I was like, I'm gonna do some changes to the lights and stuff, and then I was like, no, I better not.
I know, just in case, huh?
Yeah, it would have been a disaster. But yeah, so it's cranking along, just trying to get local creators and stuff to come in and talk about what they go through and what they do on a daily basis.
Nice.
And so you're Chad.
I am.
Photographer.
Try to be.
Videographer. You do some amazing work, and I think a lot of locals know. And I've seen a lot of your stuff. I've watched you for a while, so I think some of the stuff that you do is pretty good.
Well, thank you.
And I know you, from what the little bit I know, is you had a military background, and you kind of got started in photography and video and stuff back then.
Yeah.
And then you went to school, I think, for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you kind of went professional. So
yeah.
tell me
It's like it's a weird like story because when I was deployed in Afghanistan, I was like making videos kind of like on a really shitty handy cam.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like I wanted to do that for a living or anything. I was just like I saw one of my friends like film on his iPod. Like one, those first iPods that came out that you can start recording shit.
Yeah.
He started doing that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I should do that to make memories and shit. So, I started doing that, try to film, like, the firefights we got into and stuff like that. And then I saw my other friend edit a video on his computer. I was like, oh, what? I didn't know. Like, I didn't know shit about editing or anything.
Yeah.
So then I started, I tried to make a little deployment video out of all that shit. And, I just liked it. But I still didn't know I wanted to do that. And then when I got out, I was like, going through mental shit, didn't know what I wanted to do. I moved back in with my mom and shit. And then eventually my buddy, he was going to LA Film School for recording arts.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, bro, you should go to LA Film School. He was doing it online, but one day he had to go to LA. And I was like, all right, well, let me go with you. And then I went and checked it out. I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm not doing shit here, so I might as well just sign up and see what happens.
That's cool.
And that was in, like, 2017, I think. So then I signed up, started going to LA Film School. And then during all that time, I was still going through my own little mental shit. I was, like, doing drugs, or not, like, crazy drugs, just, like, weed and
dabbling.
Random shit. And then... So I didn't really have an interest in, like, the whole Hollywood filming type of stuff, because that's mostly what they taught there.
Yeah.
But during that time, I was taking more pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just started getting more into that. And then eventually, I got my associates, and then I moved back here. And then when I moved back here, I don't know. I guess I thought my photography was good, but it really wasn't now that I look back at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, why aren't people hiring me? But it's pretty fucking obvious why. So, like, nothing was really popping off. I started making these videos with, actually, I think this was before film school. So I started making videos with my grandma, smoking weed and shit, like little silly shit.
Yeah.
And then I went to film school and did all that. So then, so I moved back. Nothing was happening. So I was like, okay. And my friend got, like, this house from his uncle. Not like a crazy house, but like this house in San Gabriel Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And so I moved back to LA to see if I can get shit going out there again. And then fucking COVID hit. So then I was stuck in LA for like 6 months as COVID was happening and stuff like that. So obviously nothing happened there. We're just sitting at the house bullshitting.
Yeah.
And then, so like probably 6 months into COVID, I just moved back here. And then, and then somebody hired me to do like social media like he started a social media management company.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just helped him grow his business with pictures and stuff like that. And then eventually, yeah, just ball kept rolling.
Yeah, that's cool.
And here I am.
Nice. When you were in LA for COVID, did you see any or get any photos of like things abandoned or empty? Because I saw some photos of people in Vegas, and it's like the streets were empty. And
Dude, yeah, I know. I fucking drove around a lot, and I saw all kinds of, well, it was like a lot of, I got like protesting videos, you know, how people like rioting and doing all that crazy shit. Cool. But I know I should have definitely went out and took more, because I didn't.
Yeah, at that time you weren't out too much.
No, I was just chilling.
Like, I see you post frequently. Like, you're out every morning riding or doing something. How is that for you?
Well, lately, I used to go out every morning and like, you know, like try to do that for sure. But nowadays I don't really have a lot of time for that. So like if I have a shoot or something, I'll try to do the shoot, and then wherever I'm at, I'll just get photos of, you know, my surroundings.
That's cool. That's the way. I mean,
yeah,
it's difficult. That's what I struggle with. Like, even on the way in today, I was like, I'm going to take a picture of the morning sunrise. Like, I'm never up to see the sunrise. So I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Dude, the morning's my favorite.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You know,
I love sunsets because I see them more, but I know mornings are amazing. You know, it's like, wow, the sun comes from over there.
And it's just so peaceful. Nobody's out. Like, no one's going to fuck with you. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that stuff. But it's just carrying the camera and stuff. So you just have it with you all the time? Or?
Dude, most of my shit's on my phone, and people don't realize that.
Oh, okay.
Like, and the phone could do a lot.
They're so good now.
Yeah. And crazy. If you know how to edit, like, I don't even do a lot to my pictures. I just kind of like, you know, mess with the clarity, the DAs, the color, whatever, and then. Yeah.
That's good.
You don't need a crazy camera.
Yeah, it's just consistency, right? But it's amazing some of the shots you get.
Oh, thanks.
Just having the what is it? I guess the habits to carry that and take that stuff.
Yeah.
What kind of camera do you use?
I use the Sony A7 III.
That's cool.
And then, lenses is, I guess, a whole other story. But
yeah, I know. I showed you my little camera. I got a Canon M50, you know, and that's like my first, like, I can put lenses on it and stuff. So figuring out all that stuff, it's a whole rabbit hole. All the aperture and settings and shutter speed and all that.
It's tough to learn. Like, I don't even know. Like, if somebody asked me to explain those things, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. I'd have to just show you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah,
there's a photographer at my work, and she's like the media manager or something like that, but she doesn't know. She has a camera she borrowed, doesn't know how to use it.
Really?
And it's the same thing. I know what you mean. Like, you're like, well, but then you can't really explain it until you actually do it. You know, it makes it darker or lighter, but it doesn't really mean anything until you kind of understand. And it's still difficult. But the phones are amazing. I used to do that a lot. I got my little tripods and stuff.
Are you going to get a new camera for shooting?
I want to. I was looking at them actually. Just because it seems like the quality is so much better.
It is, yeah.
You know, and it's just like, you just take it and you're like, wow. You know, so I've never really had an expensive camera like that to see the difference, even for editing and stuff, to play with. But one day, and I don't even know where to go. Like, that's the thing. It's tricky. There's so many. Do I go Sony? Sony's supposed to be really good, according to a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, my girl uses Canon a lot. I think she's got the 5D, or I don't know what the fuck she got. But her photos come out really good. She does a lot of food photography and stuff.
Yeah.
But I use Sony because I do a lot of stuff in like low light situations, and Sony's really good for that.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to kind of get into like night photography and stuff because I love. I used to. I haven't had time lately, but hiking and running around in the mountains. That's what started it. I was like, oh, I want to take pictures.
At night?
Yeah, I like
that's
night
scary
hiking.
at night,
cool.
No?
It's I mean, it can be, I guess. It's more mental. Like, at first you're terrified, and I had to work through all that. Like, oh, there's a snake, there's a mountain lion or something. Yeah, that'd be cool. But I kind of grew up, like, I was from Chicago, but I moved to Sky Valley, and it's pitch black out there. So I kind of learned to navigate in the dark.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty comfortable with it. And I do trails I'm familiar with, but
like over here on
Lycan,
Ramon
I used to like
stuff.
into Ramon right there.
Yeah.
Just wandering around out there, but it's cool for like low light photography and stuff. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
If you can get your little tripod set up on a rock or something, and then you get the lights of the city like.
You got to get one of the fucking 200 millimeter lenses, because then you could shoot like far, so you can get like the night lights and all that.
That's cool. Yeah, coming in, I was trying to. You could see the sun kind of hitting the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
I love that shot in the morning.
Yeah, that's nice.
So what do you got planned for the future coming up this year? You got any big plans or anything you're looking forward to?
There's something, but I can't really say right now. It doesn't have anything to do with photography, but kind of just like I'll tell you after.
That's cool.
But,
yeah, no worries.
I don't want to say it until,
yeah,
kind of towards the end of the year.
Understood.
But as far as like photography goes, I'm kind of just living day by day,
Yeah.
moment to moment, because I feel like if I stress too much about the future, I'm stressing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a big problem worrying about the past and stressing about the future, so I figure my mental health is way better if I just focus on right now.
Yeah.
And things come to me more if I just focus on the now anyways.
It's true. It's crazy. I did that a long time. I always say the story. I worried about rent 6 months from now. Like,
yeah,
something's due, something's going to happen. And I spent my whole, like, first part of my life doing that,
Yeah.
like, oh, something's going to happen. I got to work. I got to do this. I got to do that. And then now, like, I've kind of realized that I don't know what it is, but everything seems to come as you need it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that you can just sit around and do nothing, of course.
Right. No, you have to like focus on your passion and do what excites you, and then things will come to you,
Yeah.
And put out into the world what you want back
Yeah.
in,
That Alan Watts, do what you love, and eventually someone will pay you to do it. Like
Yeah.
I heard that, and I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I
And
love
then-
Alan Watts. He's dope.
Yeah. And that started my whole thing of like, oh, what do I enjoy doing? And I enjoy what I do.
Do you want to
Yeah.
just take this further?
I do.
The
I do,
podcast
yeah,
thing?
yeah. So it's kind of like everything I enjoy doing. I took that and I ran with it because I grew up working in restaurants and stuff my whole life. So, and I grew up doing construction. That was my first job, concrete. And then I was like, oh, restaurants inside. I'm gonna go indoors. But I'm just totally dropping my train of thought where I was going with that. But
Just doing what you love, I guess.
yeah, doing what you love, and I found that anything I do turns into a job pretty much because I love what I do, so
Yeah.
that turns it into something I want to do
Mhm.
more, and then I'm like, how do I create something that's going to be sustainable, I guess.
Right.
Um,
And then things take time too. You can't just like overnight be a successful fucking, podcast studio, whatever it is.
yeah, and it's been a while with this, and I enjoy it. Like I said, it's more a work of passion,
Yeah.
and I know eventually something will pan out of it,
Yeah, for sure.
But doing that and finding happiness in what you do, it's like your why. Your why is important, and that keeps you focused, and kind of having bigger goals to kind of kick the can down the road,
Yeah,
and that works out.
definitely.
So out here, you have what kind of bike do you have? You have an electric bike. What is it?
Yeah, this Talaria Sting R.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing is cool.
I haven't been riding it often lately because it's been kind of cold and I've just been busy, but
Yeah,
definitely need to ride it. I actually rode it the other day, but yeah.
that's cool.
Do you have one?
I have it's a House of Lithium 50/50, and it looks kind of like a BMX bike, just like a big one.
Yeah.
And that's why I like the style.
How fast does it go?
It goes 30,
30?
which, it's not as fast as yours. Yours is like 40 or 50 or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, there's like a little wire you can cut to make it go faster. So I cut that and it goes like 54.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. But I had a motorcycle before that, so I'm just like, it's whatever to me.
Yeah. Yeah, those are cool though, because it's like a gray area. You don't need a license or registration or any of that. You just
Because like I ride past cops and I think they're gonna stop me and shit because I'm like zooming. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Well, so the rule is it's 20 miles an hour. Like if you're in the bike lane, you're supposed to go 20.
Yeah.
And then above that, you're supposed to be on the roads, and that's where you're subject to the
Getting pulled
laws
over.
of the road. So, and then also another loophole for some of those bikes, they were doing them on the what is that? What's the other bike? Not the
The
Segway.
Suron.
The Suron, yeah. They have a pedal kit because if
Yeah.
if you can't pedal it, then it's considered a vehicle or something.
Right.
And then it has to be 750 watts or less
Yeah.
to be on the pedal way or whatever.
And
the
sometimes
bicycle
I'll
way.
just fuck with people and I'll just start like pretending like I have pedals.
Yeah, right.
Just make my feet all crazy.
I want to take those out in the mountains. Like my little bike is cool, but it's not. I don't know. It's okay. I like it. It does 30. That's enough for little back streets. When I got it, I lived downtown, so I would just ride it up and down Bellardo pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was fast enough to get me around.
Where do you live now?
I'm in Sky Valley now.
Oh, okay. How
Yeah.
far is that?
It's about 20 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
15 miles, 16 miles.
Yeah, so no wonder why you're gonna sleep here and shit.
Right. Yeah, it's like a 20-30 minute ride, but it was cool. It's cool because it's like a little foothold here downtown. So
Yeah.
My apartment was on the other end by the curb over there.
By KFC, kind of.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
where I
kinda.
live now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what whenever I see the pictures, I'm like, I live right there.
Yeah.
I was in Cielo Apartments.
Okay, I don't know where that
Yeah,
is.
it's just on the left, off of Mesquite and Bellardo.
Oh, okay.
So right there at the bottom of Talkwitz,
Uh-huh.
you know, so I would get up in the morning and ride my wheel up there. And
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, that's
My
right.
wheel.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
You still use
Yeah,
that?
that's all I ride now. I don't really ride the bike anymore because the
Okay.
wheel's so easy. You just throw it in the trunk or in the back seat or
Right.
whatever. It's small.
I see somebody riding around all the time on that thing, and I'm always like, "Oh, is that Robert?" But it's
Yeah,
not.
no, I haven't been out here. I'm either in Rancho at my work or out in Sky Valley, and I
Yeah.
ride around in the sand a little bit now. But
Oh, really?
I don't have a dirt tire. Some of them have big knobbies.
How
And,
fast
like,
does yours go?
It goes 30.
30.
Yeah, 31.
Have you gone that fast?
Yes, I have.
Is it scary?
Yeah, it's pretty scary. And it's good, but once you start going that fast, it's easy to go that fast. So that's where you're just
Yeah.
like, and it beeps like beep beep beep, like because if you go over that, then it cuts out, and that's where they're dangerous. So you have
Right,
to, like,
yeah.
you want one that's gonna go, but you don't really go 30 unless you're flying down a road.
Yeah.
You know, that's mostly the bigger ones. Like there's a girl. Well, you know, what's her name?
Brittany.
Brittany. Yeah,
I tried to ride hers once, and I couldn't even like balance right.
Yeah, it's hard. But once you get it, it's easy.
Yeah.
Or for me, I learned, but hers does like 47 or something like that. 40,
Yeah, something crazy.
crazy. But when I first got it, I practiced in the apartment, and I
Mhm.
just like held onto the wall, and I was just kind of because it
Cruising around.
has depending on the setting, it's like beginner is really cushy,
Mm-hmm.
so you can it has a little bit of give. Like if you push it, it won't take off right away.
Right.
And then it has like pro mode where it's like every little bit it instantly
Oh, I
cuts out
see.
horsepower or whatever that is.
Does
the
it? Can you
watts.
go like backwards on it?
Yeah, it goes the same speed both ways.
Oh no shit.
So it's just like it's like a hoverboard motor,
Yeah.
you know, like
Interesting.
the little 2-wheeled ones.
Yeah.
But
So I thought it would just like break or something when you go back. but-
so I don't know how it brakes. It has brakes. So that's how you slow down. You know, like you're supposed to
Mhm.
basically try to sit, like you try to sit yourself down, and then
Yeah.
that's how you stop. But it's cool. So I just practiced there, and I like rocked back and forth and went from wall to wall.
Yeah.
Because the hardest part they say is learning how to stop, and it's like the mount and the dismount. That's where everybody falls.
Mm-hmm.
Because they go outside and they're like, I'm gonna jump on it and go, and then that's when you see the videos of them just falling. So I did that for like 2 weeks while I waited for my pads and stuff to come in. And when it came, it had a broken Schrader valve for the tire, so in the shock it wouldn't lift, and so it just leaked every time I put air. It would just leak out.
Oh.
So I had to order another one and fixed it, and then once that came, I was able to get out and ride it.
Yeah, I was really close to buying one of those. I was gonna get one of those instead of the bike, but I was like, I saw like these videos of the bike, and I was like, all right,
Yeah, that bike is tight.
I need to just get a bike.
I want to get one. Well, so that's my thing now. Like in Sky Valley, I could take my bike and ride it to work. It would take me 45 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
which, is not bad. But if I could go a little faster, I can get there quicker.
Yeah.
So I'm like, So I'm looking at one of those bikes because they have the new wheels. They do like 60. And
Like the street tires or whatever? Or what?
I'm not, the new unicycles.
Oh,
They
I
do
see.
like 60. So I'm like, oh, do I want that or do I want the bike?
Yeah.
And they're both around the same price. So for me,
And you can sit on those wheels too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have seats on the top.
Yeah.
So once you get rolling, but I'm like, see me flying around. But it's so cool. Like I think it's fun. Like
Yeah, it looks fun.
just riding around, you can hit curves and like
It just seems so free, you know?
yeah, you feel like super, like not Superman, but like a cyborg or something,
Yeah.
just zipping around because it kind of becomes part of you. Like you start moving and rocking and
Mm-hmm.
and every little movement, the way you turn and stuff, it starts to become more natural.
Right.
But at first, it was terrifying. Like I was just on it, like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. It's good.
Bro, that's how I was when I first bought my motorcycle. Like,
Yeah.
I rode dirt bikes a little bit when I was a kid, but not like often at all.
Yeah.
And then I went to the dealership to buy a motorcycle, and I fucking rode out of there all like stiff and shaking and shit.
Yeah, it's scary. There's
But
nothing
then,
to
like,
protect you.
A month later, I was doing wheelies and shit.
What'd you get?
FZ07, Yamaha.
Okay. Oh, Yamaha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen those.
But unfortunately, I had to sell it.
Yeah,
I needed money.
that happens. I grew up riding around dirt bikes and quads and stuff. So
Yeah.
like out here, it was pretty easy. Now they'll pull you over.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like when I first got a dirt bike, I was probably 15 or 16. My dad got me one, and then he got himself a quad. And then one day he was, like, we only rode it a few times, and then one day he was out riding with his buddies in, like, the BLM land.
Yeah.
And fucking some cops started chasing him. So he saw his friends take off, so he just took off. He's like, oh, shit. And then he ended up going off a cliff, and just, like, landed nose first and broke both of his arms.
Damn.
Like, they were just hanging off and shit.
No.
And he almost died. And then, so now he has, like, 2 rods in his arms and
That
stuff.
sucks.
And, yeah, it
That's
was
crazy.
gnarly.
Yeah, I remember you used to be able to ride around everywhere. My friend's dad did the same thing. He had one of those side-by-sides, and they would be out, or his off-road truck, they would just be out in the desert all the time.
Yeah. You could do anything back in the day, I feel like.
Yeah. But they had a similar experience. He had gotten a shootout with one of the BLM guys, and like,
Oh, really?
yeah, it's crazy. Like trying to run from him or something.
Jeez.
I imagine those guys had a blast trying to catch everybody. But they cracked down. You don't really see it anymore.
No.
What let's see. What are you going to be doing for your photography? Like, do you have any or videography? Like, you have any plans for any new equipment, or what are you using for your drone and stuff?
For the drone, I have the Mavic Pro 2. I want to upgrade to the 3, but it's so expensive, you know.
Yeah.
I can't really do much right now just because of the lack of funds.
Yeah.
But I know I could, like, write it off and everything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess until I crash this drone or something happens to it, I'll probably just wait.
Have you broken your drone or crashed it or anything?
Yeah, I have. I was, like, doing a video for some company, I don't know, some business. And I was, like, flying down Palm Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally did not see a wire, and I just hit a wire, and it just falls right into the middle of the street. I don't think it hit a car or anything, but it was demolished.
Yeah.
And then, I just hit him up and had to...
You send it back and had him fix it, or what'd you do?
No, I want to say insurance covered most of it, so I just got a new one.
Oh, yeah, they just ship you another one?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I was curious about that, because I broke mine.
But you still have to pay, like, quite a bit. It's kinda
Deductible
dumb.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke one of the arms on mine and sent it in. And they fixed it and sent it back, but it's still kind of like, it feels like, you know, when you fold the arm out, I'm like, it feels a little different.
Yeah.
But so I'm just really delicate with it. But my dummy, I was flying around and I hit a pole in front of the house, and I was doing the same thing, and I was like, I can make it, and I just clipped it, bam, and it like flopped.
I have the DJI Avata, the FPV one.
Yeah, how is that?
It's nice. I like it. You have to kind of get used to flying those
you
around.
have like the
goggles
headset,
and
the
stuff.
goggles, and then it's more, because I know in the drone it has like the first person view camera thing. Have you?
Yeah.
Is it similar? Have you used that much?
No, it's not that. It's not that similar. Like
Not that similar.
I like the Avata because like it has the things around the propellers, so in case
Yeah.
you do something, it kind of just bounces off or
Oh,
whatever.
okay, the guards. Or
Yeah, so you can do a lot more with that, and it's smaller, so you can get into tighter spaces and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun. I've been like flying into like restaurants and stuff. I don't know if you saw that Canopy Wine Lounge
I
video.
did. Yeah, I was gonna ask. That was
yeah.
my next question. I was like, are you flying around in the buildings and stuff?
Yeah,
That's
if they
cool.
let me, like I
Yeah.
try to as much as I can. And then yesterday I just did. These people are doing construction on this house, and I kind of like flew in and flew through the house and then flew out.
That's
That's
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I haven't messed with one of those yet. I feel like, yeah, because I always cheat, like when I'm flying the drone, because I'm not too comfortable with looking.
You
kind of
look at the
Yeah,
drone.
I'm like, where is it? Okay, and then I'll just stop. Like, all right, there it is. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
You
can
kind of have to just know like your field of view,
Yeah.
like on the camera, you know, so you can know. But it's definitely harder on regular drones.
Yeah.
Do you know who? I think his name on Instagram is Jaybird.
Jaybird. No.
He's like this FPV pilot, but he does stuff for like all kinds of events and for like NFL teams and NASCAR. He like all kinds of shit, but he's fucking really good.
That's cool.
That makes-
Jaybird.
Yeah,
I'll check him out. Yeah, I like to always look and see what people are doing
yeah.
and like what kind of techniques they're using.
But yeah, like I definitely want to get better at FPV stuff. And I know there's like actual FPV pilots that don't go through DJI. They like build their own drones and put GoPros on it and stuff.
Yeah. Have you ever done any of that?
No. See, that's where I would get confused and shit. I don't know anything about electronics and stuff, so I just try to keep it simple. And if they build it for me, I'll just use that.
All of a sudden, you're building
Yeah.
robots. Yeah, I've looked at some of that. There's a guy that I follow, Potato Jet.
He's a FPV pilot.
And he builds little drones and stuff. He just does like he has like a production company or something, but he travels around his little Sprinter van and does photography and edits or product reviews and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it's all cameras and stuff, and that's I love watching that shit just to see like what's the new camera, what's it do, how do I do that. So I like watching him because it's kind of funny. But he's always building crazy little drones and mounting cameras onto them and flying them around and stuff.
Yeah, I wish I could get into that stuff. I mean, I guess I could. I don't have to wish.
Yeah,
But.
yeah, right. But it's just something you haven't got into.
Right.
Yeah, but I think you will, like, if you go down that rabbit hole of like first-person drones. Have you seen the drone racing?
Yeah.
Like that looks.
Those
cool.
are wild. I don't know how they even those go so fast.
Yeah, like zipping around through tunnels and there's really nothing like that out here. So I was thinking that'd be a cool little thing to set up somewhere. There's plenty of space out here for that.
I've only seen like a couple FPV pilots. There's this dude named Drew Sab, I think, on his Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot his photography page, but he's really good. He does all that building stuff. Has an actual FPV.
That's cool.
But yeah, and he was in the military as well. So shout out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's so. I wonder what that's like now. Like, people, do they allow you, or maybe it's changed, but do they let you take stuff like that, like cameras and drones, and when you go, like when you're deployed or whatever, can you?
I don't know. I think there's like a whole field now. Like you can sign up to be a drone operator there. But that when I was in, we didn't hear any of that.
Yeah,
I don't even think drones really were around.
Well, I don't know. Like, do they take your phones? I don't know. Just stuff like that. Like, are you able to have?
So, like, when I was in from 2009 to 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we didn't even have iPhones or anything back then.
Yeah.
It was just, like, we didn't even have a GoPro.
That's what I was wondering now.
That's why I had to pull out a fucking handicap and trying to film shit. If I just had a GoPro, it would have been way easier.
Right. Just put it on your camera, on your helmet or something.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I didn't have a phone. Yeah, I don't know how it is now. I'm sure they have some kind of restriction because if you're filming everything.
Yeah, right. It would be everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it would be.
But then I see like all these videos in fucking Ukraine and shit.
Yeah.
Of war, you know.
Yeah. So I wonder if it's.
But obviously, we're not even kind of at war. You know, I mean the U.S. specifically, but.
I'll have to ask. I have a friend who just joined the Army.
Oh, that sucks.
She is deploying. Yeah, right. And I'm like, okay.
I would not join nowadays.
I was like, okay, they're going to ship you off. You're going to war. That's it. Like, especially with everything going on right now. She's going to end up somewhere crazy. But I'll ask her because I was thinking about that. I'm like, shit, I'm going to strap her up with cameras and start a channel. You know, like I'm trying to capitalize. Yeah, so that's got to be crazy now with all the different gadgets.
Yeah.
If they're able to do it. But I'm sure they're getting some kind of footage out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For travel, where did you go when you were deployed? Just to one place?
When I first joined, I went to basic training in Georgia.
Okay.
For like infantry and all that, and then my first duty station was upstate New York, like an hour past Syracuse, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then went to Afghanistan for 12 months, and then came back to New York. And then I re-enlisted, so then I changed duty stations and went to Fort Bliss, Texas, which is in El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for like 2 more years, and then I got out. So, yeah, I didn't really do too much traveling, just mostly, Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
That's a way over there. How, when you went out there, you flew, or how'd they get you out there?
We just ran. No. No, yeah, we flew out there, or we flew from here to Germany, and then, or was it Ireland? I don't know. And then to Kuwait, and then to Afghanistan.
Yeah, because I don't know, I don't know if they could just fly straight in there or whatever.
No, yeah. We had to fly to Germany, then Kuwait, and then take a helicopter.
That's cool.
To wherever, to Kandahar.
I figured something like that was involved.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, that was good times.
How did that affect you? do you think that the stuff they taught you or the stuff you learned there helped you in life, or did you get any skills that helped from that experience?
I definitely, yeah, I mean, I definitely like gained a sense of awareness, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They teach you a lot about attention to detail and stuff like that. So maybe that probably helped me in my career.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't know about certain skills. I mean, I guess I kind of grew up a little faster than most people.
Yeah.
But then mentally, I feel like I didn't as well, too. So, like,
yeah.
Did I grow up at all?
Right.
But yeah, other than that, it was just an experience.
That's cool. And so earlier when you got here, where we talked earlier about getting up early, have you carried that on since the military, or does it kind of fluctuate?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I love the mornings. I love, like, the peacefulness of it. And just it's really beautiful here, especially in the morning. So.
Yeah.
And, you know, right now I'm helping my dad with his pool business because he's going through medical issues and stuff like that. So I have to get up early as I can and do all that before I start doing my photography stuff and editing and stuff.
Yeah. I was picturing you just with the camera out there doing it, ready to get the shot. How is the pool stuff? Like, do you find it? I would think that would be kind of zen-like, you know, like it's very peaceful and quiet, and you're just going.
It depends on the day, because like a lot of times I'll like have a shoot right afterwards, so I'll try to be like rushing through it and stuff, and like it's always windy on the north end, so like all my north end pools are dirty as shit from sand and dust and everything. So and then you know you get certain pool customers who are picky, and there's a leaf in the pool, and you're like, no, get it then. No.
Yeah,
but
that's
so
cool.
Yeah, there's just certain things, but a lot of times it can be peaceful. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I think that would be interesting.
Yeah,
it's tough getting up. I've always worked nights, so like mornings for me are rare, but I do agree it's beautiful in the morning.
Yeah, and then like you know, like labor jobs, it's not really hard labor or anything, but I've kind of gotten used to not doing hard labor after the military and stuff.
Yeah.
And so my body, you know, it has to readjust to that kind of stuff. And I've had, you know, stomach problems for 7 years now, and so it's like dealing with that too. Yeah. And trying to feel good so I can do these pools. But I've been on this fucking carnivore diet for the past few weeks, and that's been helping a lot. So,
really? How's that? What do you eat regularly?
Just beef and eggs, basically.
That's cool. I've heard a lot of good things about that, and I've been kind of interested myself.
Dude, you should try it for like a month and see how you feel, because I feel so much better. Like I don't wake up in pain. Like I don't get bloated after every meal. Yeah,
there's a lot of like food-related allergies and illnesses and stuff, you know. Yeah, that's cool.
It gets so much like negativity towards it because, you know, but dude, like I just go back to like, think of how our ancestors used to live, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody was jacked and shit and running around killing lions.
Right?
It's like,
there's no McDonald's.
Yeah, there's no McDonald's. You can't fucking go to the store and shit. But, so yeah, that's kind of helped. I've been trying to get like some of my friends and family on it.
Yeah.
My mom is so against it though. She's like, you need to eat. You're getting skinny. But I'm like, I've been skinny because I can't digest food properly. So I'm trying to like reverse these symptoms with this diet so I can start digesting food and gain my weight back.
Yeah, kind of reset everything.
Yeah, because when I got out of the military, I was like 195 and like jacked, you know, but I lost it all just from these issues.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So hopefully I can get my shit together and it works out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hope that works out for you. Yeah, health is important. Mm-hmm. Mental and physical, of course.
But I definitely recommend it if anybody's, you know, feeling like shit after they eat or just whatever.
Yeah, I was talking about that yesterday. Like, it does affect you. Different things you
I actually don't do it because I need the meat, so.
Right? There's not enough. It's not enough to go around. It's getting pricey. Yeah. And they're messing with it now. Like, they've got synthetic meats. And yeah. It's crazy. You never know.
I actually order beef from this company called Ranchlands.
Really?
Yeah, and they send you, like, you know, like 10 pounds of meat in like packages of just ground beef for like $80. It's pretty it's a pretty good deal.
Note that. Ranchlands.
Yeah, Ranchlands.
Got my little notepad. Yeah.
Bleep that. No.
It's crazy. I have some friends that have traveled around in the world, and my friend Pedro just got back from Ibiza and stuff, and I hear like you don't really see a lot of people that there's not really an obesity issue
Right.
in other parts of the world. You
Yeah,
know?
because they're not putting shit in their food. They're
And
not
all the
making it, like,
chemicals and stuff.
addicting.
Yeah, it's crazy how they get away with that. It's all about the money, I guess.
I know, it's funny, like, the standard American diet or whatever, SAD is what they call it.
Yeah.
SAD, standard American diet. But, yeah, it's just so bad. All the food is so addicting. Because, like, I have a really hard time with, like, not eating cookies. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm addicted to sugar. But not anymore. Like, I've been doing this, and I don't have any of those cravings anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that right now. Because I haven't been drinking, and
Mhm.
I used to drink a lot, and so now
Yeah.
it's like it turned into cookies and snacks and
Yeah.
sweets, and so
I mean, you got to replace it with something, you know? So it's-
yeah. And I work late, and there's all this candy, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna eat it, and then I hate myself. You know, no, I don't hate myself, but
Yeah.
I'm like that shit was good.
No, I used to have a big issue too because I would smoke a lot of weed. So
Yeah, and you're like munchies.
yeah,
And now I'm doing this video game thing. I'm up playing video games, and I want late night snacks, and
yeah,
so it's hard to try to keep that under control.
yeah, it's tough.
The cravings.
What do you play?
I am. What am I playing? I've been playing Fortnite.
Yeah,
Uh,
I play that. Shit. I don't give a
it's cool,
fuck.
right? I'm like,
But I play mostly Call of Duty.
But that's where I'm like, I want to play Call of Duty, but I haven't got the new one yet. Did you
Yeah.
have the new one?
I have it, but it's like it's all right. But I feel like Activision is just like trying to capitalize on it instead of
Yeah,
make it fun for gamers.
that's the thing. That's why I struggle to buy it. You know, I'm like, I stopped. I'm like, I bought the first couple ones. I'm like, all right, $70 a year. Everyone's new. It's got a new something,
Yeah.
but it's kind of the same. And so I haven't bought one in a while. So I'm gonna break down and buy this new one probably.
Yeah.
But,
I mostly play because my buddy I met in film school, his name's Joe. He gets on a lot, and so it's kind of like hanging out with the boys, you know?
yeah,
Just
I love
going-
that. So that's that's cool. You
Yeah.
get on there. So I play with some friends from work. We play Fortnite. There's a new one. The finals just came out.
Oh, okay.
And it's like the end of, about 15 days ago or 20 days ago. But it's pretty cool. It's kind of like Call of Duty. It's like all of them. They're all kind of similar. They've adopted
Yeah.
things from each other. But I play Fortnite and then now the finals. And I play the Call of Duty, the new one. There's like a couple you can play for free.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't really. I think you can add me if you have the game, but I can't like start a squad unless I pay for it. Because you know how there's like zombies and then there's
Yeah.
all the different like types of play. Well, there's
Mhm.
like 2 that you can play for free.
Interesting.
And so I've been trying to get like, good, add me, guys.
Yeah.
But it hasn't worked out yet. But hopefully one day, because I don't want to break down and pay.
Have you
$70.
played Red Dead Redemption?
I have.
Yeah.
I like
It's
those
pretty
games.
fun, but you really have to have like time to play it and
Yeah,
all that.
it's a whole like living another life. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those kind of games. I tried getting into Grand Theft Auto, like 5 or the online one or whatever,
Uh-huh.
just because I know the new one's coming out. So I'm
Yeah,
like, well, if
yeah.
I get into it, I can start to play.
Yeah,
more.
I have that one too. It's pretty fun. But that's another one where you have to have time and like live a
Yeah.
whole new life in a game.
I
And
know.
stuff,
So I
but
get in there and I'm like, where was I? What was I doing again?
I'm definitely gonna get the new one though. That shit looks
Yeah,
kinda sick.
yeah, I want to try it. So I go through phases where I'm like, the last game system I had was a PS3,
Yeah.
and like I didn't touch it, and then now I got this one, and I bought it a year, almost 2 years ago, and I never touched
Would
it.
you get
Really.
the 5?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I never touched it. Like my friend at work was like, "You gotta have it," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really need it." But he had some kind of hookup through Walmart or something where he
Mhm.
got when they came, he knew their one was coming because it was really hard to get at the time.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna sell it. I was like, I'm gonna buy it and sell it. And then I got it, and I was like, ooh, let me just unbox it. What's it look like? Let me just plug it in. And the next thing you know, I'm all get up. And then I didn't touch it for
Yeah.
months and months. And then now again, I'm playing because I got some friends to play with.
Oh, good.
So yeah, we got to squad up.
Yeah, they.
I'm gonna try to get that Call of Duty. I've been fighting it. It was on sale for the holidays, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. My buddy Manu got it.
Yeah, my name on there is Chad Chillington.
Chad Gillington. I like that. I'm gonna note that down.
Add me, bro. I know people like have a weird thing with gamers. I feel like a lot of people don't want to admit that they game
Yeah,
just because it's childish or whatever. But
yeah.
who gives a fuck? Like if you have time, you might as well do what you
Yeah,
like.
I work to have time for that. I used to
Huh.
say, I'm like, I do all this so I can play video games. Like,
Yeah.
that was like the dream. I'm like, I'm working hard right now so I can just like blow up shit.
It just kind of helps me like be present too and stop thinking about other things.
Yeah.
Like, it helps you wind down.
Yeah, it's really
But
cool.
it also stresses you out and
It can.
you can't kill somebody or
I like
whatever.
those games too. I have this little mushrooms game I play, and it's like you have to like attack and other little mushrooms, and it's like 500 versus 500.
Yeah.
And it's so stressful the whole time. You're like, go little mushrooms. And like, I'll be all pissed off yelling at it. And you know, it's like, why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah. Yeah, my girl's not really a gamer at all, but I got her into playing Fall Guys.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
So she loves that shit now, but
That's cool. It's funny how the little weird games get you.
yeah.
Just whatever connects with your brain or whatever.
Her little childish brain. No, I'm just
Right?
kidding.
It's in there. They be as children, it says, right? It's in the Bible or something. What do you, so on that, what do you think about religion and all that stuff? Are you religious, spiritual?
Yeah, I'm probably more spiritual than religious. I'm into, okay, so I guess I'll take it back. In like 2012, when I was still in the military, this was after I got back from deployment and everything. You know, you can't smoke weed or anything in the Army, and I was home on leave, and I wanted to do something besides drink. And then one of my homies was like, hey, I know this guy, he has DMT. And I was like,
wow.
what the fuck is that? I didn't know what it was or anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's like this psychedelic, it's crazy. And I was like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. So we go to his house, and he, you know, gives it to me. I take like 3 big bong rips of it, and all of a sudden I feel weird as shit, and I like lay on the couch, and everything starts to go black, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm dying. And then so like as I'm like feeling like I'm gonna die, I'm like breathing all hard and shit, this like entity or whatever was like, just relax, if you're dead, you're dead, it's fine. So then right when that happens, I like breathe out, and everything just turns into beauty, and I see like colors that don't even exist. I see every color in the world. I see all these crazy shapes and shit. And then I just feel like nothing but love, and I see like these like laughing Buddhas kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're all just telling me like, just laugh at all the bullshit in the world. It's all just a big joke, you
That's
know?
crazy.
And yeah, it was the most intense, beautiful experience ever. And it only lasted like 10 minutes, and then I woke up from it. And I look at them, I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then ever since then, I got into like philosophy, you know, Alan Watts. And
Yeah.
I just started looking up all that stuff on YouTube, because that's when kind of YouTube started popping off and people were posting on there.
Yeah.
So I was just looking up any philosophical shit that I could. I would try to go tell my other Army buddies about it, and they're like, nah, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, ever since then, it was just like I feel like my ego kind of set itself aside, and I was just more into that stuff.
Yeah.
But growing up, you know, my mom would try to get me to go to church and stuff like that, but it never really resonated with me.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a God, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
There's something more to this than just us.
Mm-hmm.
But I think religion can be, you know, iffy sometimes.
Yeah. It's questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, it's just, you know, if you're a good person, things will work out. And
Yeah. It's like your intentions, right?
yeah.
I agree. I'm the same. And I'm interested in religion. Like, I like it for the lessons and the wisdom and
Yeah.
stuff, but I just have a hard time with that. And again, like you said, the name, like I think to me, because people want to call it a certain thing, and I'm like, you can call it what you want. The word's going to have whatever meaning it has to you.
Mm-hmm.
So like God or Jesus or Buddha or whatever, you know,
Mm-hmm.
religion, spirituality, like
Yeah.
the universe. I'm a big universe guy. I'm like, the universe,
Right.
thank you.
Well, it's true. Like, we literally are the universe experiencing itself. So
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. And there's so much more to this than I think we can even understand.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
but lately, so for the past couple weeks, I've been listening to this guy named Bashar. This is going to sound crazy. I almost don't even want to talk about it, because it's fucking...
That's why you should talk about it.
It's weird. You really have to have an open mind to really get into it. But essentially, it's this guy named Daryl, and he's channeling this guy named Bashar, who's like an entity or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And when he channels it, he like meditates, and he channels this guy, and he goes to these, you know, what are they called? Where people gather or whatever. Not ceremonies, but
like a sermon? Or,
not a sermon.
I don't know.
I don't know. He goes and talks to people, and then people ask him questions.
Yeah.
Whatever they want about anything. And you can totally tell that it's not even really Daryl talking. It's that Bashar person, because like he has no pauses in his talking. He answers the questions right away, and like he has all the answers, and it all makes sense too. So it's like insane. But I'll send you like some videos about it.
Yeah, I'll check that out. That's crazy.
But yeah, it's fucking insane. And I learned a lot from him just in the past few weeks, just about life and following your excitement and just things like that.
That's cool. So there's some people that say like there's that theory of like we are antennas and we're here to like receive signals and vibrations, and that comes with the things we receive and experience in life, and that like that's kind of, I think, something similar to that. Like he's channeling this Bashar guy, who, you know, call him what you want, but it's a certain entity that has information. That's crazy. They say like even like ideas or like, you know, stuff like that, it's just certain frequencies that are out there, and we just tune into them, you know. And we're like just a tuning fork.
And that's his thing too, is like the more you can tune into yourself and vibrate on a higher frequency, the more you understand and realize your higher self and all that. So it's really crazy.
Yeah, I like that stuff. It's crazy. You know, it's crazy how we evolve. Like I've forgotten lifetimes, it seems. You know, or not forgotten, but they're in there. It's just that I don't think about it all the time. Whole versions of me that have like faded off into the past. Yeah. And that's kind of what I think life is, even on so many levels. Even like when we die, that's kind of something I believe about, like the Indian religion from India. I don't know what it's called, but they like the Hindu, yeah, like multiple lives. You kind of like keep coming. That kind of resonates with me. Like we're here to learn lessons, and we're just energy transferring through the filter, kind of like, you know, the coffee grounds of Earth. And we just keep going and going until we're pure energy or whatever.
Well, one of the things he says is like, people think that we just die and don't exist anymore, but the whole definition of existence is, or like non-existence, is that it never existed, and like you can never not exist once you exist. So like, you know, your spirit's gonna live on, whatever that means to you, you know. But so it's a whole thing. But like, definitely look them up, and for those of you who don't have an open mind, don't look them up.
Yeah, don't go down the rabbit hole.
We're just gonna be talking shit later.
It's just gonna break stuff. They're like, wait a minute, what's happening? Yeah, I think, you know, with religion, talking about this the other day, like, not to knock it, again, I'd take all the help I can get. Yeah. But I think it was definitely necessary at the time. Because I was looking at, like, going down this rabbit hole of religion, I got a Bible, and I'm, like, poking around. I'm on, like, page 4 right now. And I'm like, oh, wow. But looking into that stuff, AD, BC, 1,000 years ago, or no, not 1,000, 2,000 years ago. What year are we in? And then I was reading, and apparently that AD, BC AD didn't start until 500 or 600 years after it actually happened. Yeah. Somebody pushed it into reality, you know, or made the law pass or whatever, and it spread from there. So again, it's just it's questionable. Like,
it is, because you don't know if they're trying to make it to control society at some point.
Because I'm like, what happened? But before that, it's BC, and like all the heathens and like that was Egypt and Babylon and all that stuff, the forgotten times, the old kingdoms or whatever. And it's like, what happened with those guys? And I always question it, like with God. They're like, well, if he created everything, he created them too. Yeah. You know, they're just part of this big thing he's got going on. So I don't know.
Yeah, essentially we're all God. We're all one, experiencing life in different perspectives as individuals.
Yeah. So I like. I think we talked. Well, I don't know if I mentioned it before. There's a movie about podcasting, and it's like in Texas, and there's a scene where the guy says he's actually the villain, which I didn't know till the end. But he says to the guy who's doing the podcast, and he's like, "You're the filter, and everything you experience in life is you're applying that filter. And so anything you document or for making video and photography and stuff, even podcasting or whatever, it's like you're putting your filter on what existence was, or that existence was, and capturing it. you know, with the video or the photo or whatever. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of cool, like, to think about it that way, because there's really no wrong way.
Right.
Because that's something I struggle with. It's like, people don't want to see that, or it's not cool, or it's not
Yeah.
good looking, or whatever
Yeah, yeah.
insecurities I have. Even with podcasting and stuff, I'm just like, no one's going to want to
Dude,
watch
I
that.
know.
But if you enjoy doing it, that's why you do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I have struggled with that.
Yeah,
And
but
so
I
that-
think you just need to create, you know, and the
Yeah.
universe will help you out with that.
Yeah. It just kind of paves the way. It gives you what you need when you need it,
Yeah,
not when you want it.
exactly.
that's the
That's
trick.
what Bashar said.
Really? Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Check it out. It's so wild.
Cool.
But yeah.
So, I think we could probably wrap it up.
All right.
Unless you want to talk about some more weird stuff.
Whatever.
What else? I don't know what else I got. I got religion. I always say, like, I like watching, like, the Joe Rogan podcast, because he'll be like, so what about Sasquatch, or like some crazy shit.
Or do you know who Shane Gillis is?
Mm-mm.
He's another funny ass comedian. He's like one of my favorites right now. But
Shane Gillis. It sounds familiar. Let me see.
yeah, he was just on Theo Von's podcast.
I like that guy too.
And they're like, right when they start, they're like, dude, we could literally talk about fucking farting, and people would be like, these legends have done it again.
Shane Gillis. Oh yeah, he cracks me up.
Dude,
I
he's
just
my
saw that
favorite.
guy the other day. Yeah. My friend was showing me. My friend Seth was like, check this guy out.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
Yeah, we're gonna go see him in March.
He's coming out here, right?
Yeah.
Is that what I just saw?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It's so cool out here because, like, the casino and Acrisure Arena, like, we get a lot of talent that comes through here.
Yeah.
And it's really crazy.
More and more too nowadays, you know.
Yeah. It's like part of a circuit, like the casino tour or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I
These
know.
guys-
It's weird.
These guys just come and blow it up and then go on. Do you go to, you said you're going to see the show. Have you gone to, like, concerts and comedy and any of that kind of stuff?
Not really out here. I've been to like the Firebird games and stuff, but that's about it.
I haven't gone to one of those yet.
No?
I want to try it. I've never been to a hockey game.
Dude.
I went to a baseball game for the
Yeah.
first time.
Oh, really?
I've never really
I
been
went to my
sports.
first NFL game
How was that?
in December. It was fun, but they lost the Chargers. But
Oh, shit.
so it is what it is. I'm not
Yeah.
like a crazy huge sports guy, but I like going for the experience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't get caught up in it just because it doesn't really benefit me.
Yeah, I always say, people like, what sports do you watch sports? I'm like, no, work is my sport. Like, that's like
Yeah.
my go-to line.
But the hockey games are fun. Last year was really fun because they were like one of the top teams. You know, they barely
They
lost
almost
at
won,
the
right?
end. Yeah. But I think this year they're not doing as well. But it's still fun to go, you know.
Yeah, they had that beginner's luck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's cool. Yeah, it's good. It's good to have all that activity stuff out here. You should get, do you get to do any events like that, or are you looking to interested?
No, I
What'd you do?
wanted to. I wanted to try to get in there and do that. I know a couple buddies who did do it. But yeah, I don't even know how to get in contact with the right people. Sometimes I think people might have a misunderstanding of who I am just because like I'm all like tatted up and
Yeah.
maybe my demeanor comes off as lazy or I don't care. But
Yeah.
when it comes to my work, I try to get the best I can for people. So
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you do. So the other day, when I was asking you what you're doing on Saturday, I had a friend who did the Wellness Fest or Wellfest in Rancho Mirage at the
Mhm.
river, and they wanted someone to come shoot the event. I
Oh,
was gonna
really?
ask you if you wanted to go do it, but you said you're all booked up. But like that kind of stuff, you're the first person I thought of. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, because I know you do a good job with your work.
Oh, thanks.
Uh,
Yeah,
but-
whenever people like refer me to somebody, I'm always like so grateful to that person just to even think of me in that
Yeah.
situation. So appreciated it.
Yeah, of
if
course.
Anybody does that.
Yeah, but yeah, that there's always stuff like that going on. So back to like Coachella, I was gonna say there's a guy, I don't know if you saw it, local. I think it's Volant Views.
Rolling views, yeah.
That guy. So
Uh-huh.
I think it was him. He did a post where he reached out to Coachella.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so like that's crazy. Like he reached out and got a free pass. Like
Yeah.
they had him come in and go to Coachella.
Yeah,
for
I
the
think he was
weekend.
trying really hard to get that, and I'm glad he did that.
Yeah, that's super
awesome.
cool. That's a good idea. And then I have my friend Pedro. who you've met here, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he used to get press passes. Like, he would make press passes and go to events and stuff, and they just, you got your press pass, so they like let him in. You just contact them ahead of time. So that's something maybe you could look at doing.
Yeah. The only thing that's kind of hard with that is I'm really not a night person, and most of those things happen so late,
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I'll make anything work. But yeah, it's difficult.
Do the morning stuff. Yeah. How's Pete and the Flat Black going with all that? You still doing shots for him? And I know
yeah, here and there. Lately, we both been really busy, but
yeah,
we got to get more shit going. But
cool.
yeah, I know he wanted to start a podcast too. I don't know if he wanted to start it with just me and him and have like random people on or what. But
yeah, that's what he was saying. So that's cool. I want to help you guys get that started for sure.
I know. I was like thinking of starting my own podcast too, but I'm like, fuck, I'm such an introvert. I suck at talking sometimes, and sometimes I just think I'm not that interesting.
Right? You're slightly interesting.
Yeah.
That's the podcast. Go. You're on the right show.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I struggle with too. Is like, no one's gonna want to watch, but there are people. Hopefully we'll see.
Yeah.
And I think you should start a podcast, and I love it because that's the thing that stops me is like it has to be restricted, and you have to have questions, and it has to be rigid, and the whole thing, and that to me makes me afraid to do it.
And you really don't. It's like you just got to create and put it out there, and if it happens, it happens.
And then you figure it out as it goes. Then you're like, oh, maybe I can do this or change this camera or whatever. And so with this podcast, for instance, I didn't want to get caught up in all the other stuff, the cameras and the lights and all. My focus is just audio, and the rest is extra layers of stuff. But for me, the main thing is the podcast, the audio file. That's the main focus for me on this podcast. So I don't have to worry about all the extra editing and stuff. It's just create the content, and then creating this environment where start doing this on a regular basis and just have people stop by and like, hey, come check it out, have a conversation. Could be an hour, could be 2 hours, could be 5. You never know. We're just chilling. That's 5 hours is a long time, but
dude, it's really not though. Like sometimes, I mean, it's already been like an hour.
Yeah,
feels like it's been 20 minutes.
Yeah, so it goes quick.
Yeah,
once you start rolling. And at first, I know because this is the second podcast for Slightly Interesting. I did my friend Pablo the first time. And the same thing, I dragged, and I was like, oh, God, I'm nervous. What am I going to do? And then once we got in and, like, sat down, it just relaxed, But at first, you're like, okay, what do I say? Oh, God.
Yeah, I think the first 5 to 10 probably is just going to be you breaking out of your shell and all that shit.
Yeah, it's tricky. And then you just try to figure out. And it's good. Like, I'll get better at, outlines and certain questions, and I want to sit down and research, and that's why I like stuff like I figured I would start with people that I already kind of have researched and know a little bit about, like I'm getting to know you more on a personal level now, but I've always followed your work. Like as soon as I found you, I was like, wow, this guy's really good. And I like the view, the eye that you have, because you see a lot of good stuff. So anything I can do to get that word out. And is there anything you want to plug or drop for your pages or?
Not really. I mean, just chad.vh is the Instagram, and that's it. I don't know.
You had do you have any kind of business stuff that you set up yet, like for your photography, or you just freelancing it? What do you?
Yeah, just mostly freelance. I mean, I have a website. I haven't really updated lately. I mean, just last year was one of the hardest years of my life, so I've just been kind of coming back from that and trying to get back on the motion of things.
So with all that last year, what was everything that kind of went through? If you give me like a brief time.
So I guess it all started when my dog died. I had to go put my dog down, and he was like my best friend, so I had to like hold him and while they put him down. That was tough. Terrible. And then right after that, my dad found out he had colon cancer. So he was like trying to take it easy and stuff, and so I started helping him with his pool business, but he would get like really weak, like just going back and doing pools, like just walking back into the backyard with me, he would get like super tired. So then we found out he had like heart problems.
Yeah.
But before that happened, like one night I'm just sitting there with my girl, and then he like calls me, and I answer, and he's like frantically like, hey, I just called the ambulance, and they're on their way. I'm laying on the floor bleeding, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I speed over to his house as fast as I could, you know, just not caring about stoplights or anything, like cops or nothing. And I get there, like, right when the ambulance is showing up. And I walk in there, and he's just laying face down, just blood everywhere. I thought he was dead. And so he's living with his mom, who has dementia real bad at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, like, trying to tell her, like, hey, give me your phone. And she kept bringing him, like, every remote in the house. And eventually, I guess she found the phone.
Damn.
So, you know,
That's crazy.
I meet him at the hospital. He gets like 11 stitches right here, huge black eye and all that. And he makes it through that, but he has to go to Loma Linda and get heart surgery, like open heart surgery, and then he can get his colon cancer surgery.
Wow.
So as he's doing that, you know, I'm doing his business, going out there, taking care of his mom who has dementia. And then during that time, my grandma had to go to the hospital for an emergency, and she had stomach cancer real bad. So she had to get, like, a lot of her colon taken out. She was in the ICU for 7 days, tube down her throat, and that fucked me up real bad because, like, she basically raised me.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and dad got divorced when I was really young.
Yeah.
And she was just there, always supporting me through, like, just even the craziest shit that I did as a kid.
Yeah.
And so we didn't know if she was going to make it. It was like a 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm running from, you know, Loma Linda to this hospital to my other grandma. And then finally my dad gets out of the hospital, goes home and stuff, and is like trying to take care of his mom, but it's just really difficult for him.
Mm-hmm. But
then, like, I get another phone call a couple weeks later saying that she fell and busted her head.
Oh, wow.
So she goes to the hospital. I go over there, clean the blood, whatever. And now she's in a care facility that my dad has to pay like $5,000 a month because insurance won't cover it for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still dealing with that. And then, but yeah, so my grandma's back home. My mom's taking care of her, and my dad's on chemo right now. And everything's kind of, you know, settling down a little bit.
Yeah.
Until the next thing. But
New Year. That's crazy.
So, yeah, just that was a rough time. It was all back to back, like all in just a few months, it seemed like. And
that's a lot.
It was, and then I was dealing with my own, you know, stomach issues, addictions, everything like that, mental health.
All your problems go on the back burner.
Yeah, I mean, they were still there. I was
I
couldn't just give up, obviously, because I'm trying to hold everybody down and keep it together.
That's crazy.
So it was tough, but you know, it's all a growing experience, I guess.
Yeah.
Those things happen.
Yeah, it comes in seasons, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad you made it through. That's an adventure.
Yeah.
Not a good one.
Not a good one, but
yeah.
I'm sure, you know, people have it worse, so.
Mm-hmm. Gotta be thankful.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. Yeah, it's a struggle. I remember at that time, my dad had a heart attack.
Oh, really?
And it was the same kind of thing. He was tired and like he just felt he had like my shoulder hurts or whatever. He was going to the doctor and they were doing physical therapy and like they had never diagnosed the actual problem, which was a blockage in his heart. And I brought him here and I was like, come check out the studio, Dad. And I brought him up and the elevator wasn't working. I don't know if you remember. And he came up the stairs and then all of a sudden he was like, I feel weird. And he like in my chair right there, he had a heart attack. And I'm like, damn,
that's wild.
Yeah. So it was lucky because he called me and said that he thought he had a heat stroke or something. Yeah. And he said he felt funny. And I was like, I'll come pick you up. So I went and picked him up in Sky Valley and came out here. I was like, I'll bring him down here where we're closer to the hospital. Yeah. And luckily we were here and just 2 minutes away. They were here in like 7 minutes. Like they got here quick. But the ambulance was out, so they had to take him down the stairs and 7 ambulance people. And it was pretty crazy that day. But I remember going through that. And it was right around the same time. That's why I was like, you know, if there's anything I can do, because my dad had made it. And he's okay. They took the blockage out.
That's good.
And he was.
See, like everything happens kind of at the right time, you know. Like it's lucky that he was here. And
yes, yeah. And I was already thinking, I'm like, I gotta, because my lease was ending where I was at, and I'm like, I gotta get out there. He's out there all by himself. He's getting older, and he had fallen off his trailer because he's still working. Right. That's how he had the heart attack. He was moving this damn 6-foot tall refrigerator. Yeah. My dad's like 5'2". I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. My dad's like 6'4" and kind of big, you know. So I wouldn't be able to carry him anywhere.
Yeah. So, you know, it was lucky how it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes. It was kind of funny too when I got to his house when all that shit was happening. One of the firefighters that was there, he's like, "Hey, are you Chad?" He like follows me on Instagram.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah,
I was like, "Appreciate you following me, bro, but I'm fucked up right now."
Save my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. You're a local celebrity.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up. Let's see this year. And then maybe if like trying to do this stuff in the studio, like if, you know, there's...
Yeah, so where do you want to go with this? Do you want just more people to come in and like rent it out?
Well, I mean, it's kind of... Yeah, I want to get people to use it just to kind of help them create podcasts.
Yeah.
And to rent it out. That would be nice, you know. But right now it's really just trying to help people to do something that they want to do. And also help myself at the same time, you know. So it's like it's a win-win.
I think it's a great idea, man, because a lot of people don't have the equipment or don't want to set it up or whatever, you know, or do the editing.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have all this stuff, and you know, I'm sure a lot of people out here want to do podcasts. You just gotta put the word out. Yeah.
So it's been a growing thing, you know, finding people. It's hard to find the consistency and to like dedicate yourself to carve the time out, and you know, it's
especially when you're working fucking so much, you know.
Well, I mean, even for the people trying to start podcasts.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Me, we'll get it done. You know, I'll make it happen. Yeah. And then, you know, building a team. That's what I was kind of poking at. Is like, you know, if people come in and they want stuff. I had another friend of mine who does editing and stuff. She worked for Palm Springs Live.
Okay.
And she helped me do editing for my stuff. And so just kind of putting together a little team where we can pump out some content out of here and have a little media studio. You know, so for me, that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this is, you know, the original idea, because I work in restaurants and hotels, was I got to know some of these owners working at the boutique hotels. And I'm like, wow, this guy Lars is amazing. $100 million deal with Walmart. And he sold Kobe, his sock company. And, you know, like, that's amazing. Yeah. And he's just chilling. Like, he lives in Malibu. He surfs and climbs mountains. Like, this guy is amazing. And so for me, I was trying to put myself around people like that, like movers and shakers, people that are accomplished and have, you know, done something. And I can hopefully soak up some of their vibrations and energy, you know. And, so I started realizing I'm working with all these people, and I'm like, wow, I could go to businesses and talk to the owners and say, hey, what's your story? So that's kind of the motivation with this. I just had no idea how to get to it, and I thought like Greater Palm Springs, I have that podcast, never done anything with it, or the Robert DeLeon show. Like, no one, who the hell am I? No one wants to watch Robert DeLeon. Maybe one day, but not right now. Right. And then I was like, what can I do to make it approachable? And that kept sticking in my head. Slightly interesting, you know. And I'm like, there's a couple other ones. I've Googled them. There's like slightly interesting or something, but we'll see, you know, see if it blows up. But
all in the right time.
Yeah. Going to hotels and businesses and local people that do stuff, you know, kind of just getting their story and lessons and things people might find interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see where this goes. And
are you aiming for like, just like all kinds of random people, or like a certain aspect of people, like business owners, or just like anybody?
Really just anybody for the podcasting end of it,
right?
You know, but then trying to figure out what my focus would be on who I'm trying to talk to.
I see.
You know, so right now it's just like friends and people that I know and people that I work with or whatever that I'm thinking to bring in. And so I don't really have too much of a direction. I do with the different ones. So I'm working on a Next Gen Business Council podcast, which is for the Marriott, Marriott Next Gen Business Council. And so that will be the business end of it. So talking about leadership and management and that kind of stuff in that environment. So that kind of takes care of that. And then the slightly interesting is more just for my personal enjoyment. Yeah. And then I have the other one, the Greater Palm Springs podcast that I want to do. And that one will be focused on like, kind of like, the thinking was like Palm Springs Life is amazing. They do a great job. Yeah. But they're kind of unapproachable in my personal opinion. Right. I could be wrong. Or someone may disagree. But I think that something that's more on just like an average level of like more approachable, more open to everyone. Not that Palm Springs Life isn't. But I just feel like it's really polished.
Yeah. Really, I think they have like a certain, you know, thing that they're going for or whatever, but
and I'm not aiming for that. I'm aiming for just a little lower,
right,
or a little different, a little to the left, you know, or the right, or whatever. Whoa, I'm like,
whoa.
Yeah,
I'm political here now.
Yeah, But that was kind of my goal, was just, something fun and keeping entertained, and it creates value. Because to me, I thought at the time, this was 5 years ago when I started cooking up this idea.
Yeah.
And at the time there was really no representation.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you see them popping up. There's other little studios and everybody's doing a podcast.
Out here?
And, yeah. There's another studio in Palm Desert.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of any.
Can't remember the name of it. But my friend is working with them, and they're affiliated with Channel 3, and Bill Gates does his podcast out of there, I guess, or creates content out of there. And it's kind of like a video studio or a media studio, like for TV.
Yeah.
So this is something different. So,
Right.
I don't want to compete. There's like music studios, then there's like film studios, and I'm just right in the middle, in this little niche in the middle. I can do video, I can do audio, but I'm not too far on either side. But so those started popping up. And then as far as like local podcasts and stuff, there's a bunch of people doing it. And then just offering it as a service, like you can come in and do some stuff out of here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of just a vague vision. I always say specifically vague, vaguely specific. And then it just falls into place,
Yeah, I know, like, it's good to focus on one thing and kind of run with that for a while instead of, like, having all these different things you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because then it can kind of get mixed up and...
Yeah. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I have trouble with that. But
so
yes.
maybe just try to focus on one thing for now, like this one or,
That's what I was saying. I think that's good advice. And that's why I was saying, like, the video stuff to me, like, I just want to focus on the audio,
right?
The sound, and then.
But you're still gonna have video,
the
obviously,
podcast.
right?
Yeah, I'll use it for like teasers and I will post. I will have video, but it's not. Some video looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They're like they got the shots and it's just like over the ear and
They're
like
using crazy cameras and
yeah,
stuff.
and it's like I'm not there yet. But as far as like just taking it one step at a time, like you said, like just focusing on the audio and stuff. And I got new arms and new lights and all that stuff. That's for everybody.
Yeah.
But again, trying to simplify it so I'm not chasing. There's a saying. It's like man who chases two rabbits catches none. Like
That's funny. That's a good one.
It's like a Russian proverb or something.
Those damn Russians at it again.
But yeah, it's hard to stay focused. And so this is kind of what I'm on right now. Like I went through all the stuff that I did with the photography and video stuff was all for the business, like for the rentals and doing the real estate photo shoots and stuff. And and it, like I said, everything I do becomes a job, my little hobbies. And I'm like, I'm gonna make it a job and I can make money. And then I just end up working all the time. But it's stuff that I love doing.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, is the important thing in life. Enjoying what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't look at it as like I'm gonna capitalize on this because then it kind of doesn't work out. You gotta kind of look at it to just create something.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least in my experience, that's what I've noticed. Because when I would like really try to get jobs, nothing would come to me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I just started perfecting my craft, people would come to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There's that. Have you seen that post with the tuning forks or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like dinging it, and then he hits the one with the same frequency, and the other one just starts vibrating. Like I think that is kind of how we operate.
Yeah,
like
we're all vibrations. So.
Put us in the right frequency or the right room, and we start to vibrate correctly. Yeah, I don't know, but it's always evolving, and there's a lot of opportunities. So that's the other thing I was saying. This Channel 3 thing, these people, it's like the Morning Brew.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, so it's like a TV show. They were over there at the Well Fest and all that stuff, so they got a lot of coverage there.
Yeah,
and they're trying to work out of, like, because that's the national thing. The Morning Brew is like for the national Channel 3.
Yeah,
and so they're looking to do some local stuff out of here. So I might be able to try to hopefully get some stuff with that. And then I had another lady who approached me to do stuff out of here weekly, and she's supposed to start at the end of the month, and she's got like a huge podcast with like 300,000 followers on Instagram and stuff.
Nice.
And I'm like, wow, that's cool. So it's it's gonna come from out of somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you can collaborate with more and more people, obviously your stuff will get out there.
Yeah, and then it's really the thing for me is focusing on the content, like posting on these platforms. Once you get monetized, then you have some real traction, and then you can start to to make differences. And you know, as the money starts to flow from ads and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere.
Are you gonna post like little clips on TikTok and stuff too?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So like stuff like this video, like the last one, I run it through the software that makes the little clips, and it puts the captions and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just trying to create that system, and then that system is duplicable for other businesses and people.
Yeah, I've tried doing that for a little bit, just posting like clips like that on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But I use CapCut.
How do you like that?
I use it all the time. I love CapCut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really tried it too much. I had another friend who recommended it. I was using Mojo for.
But you mostly do stuff on the computer, right?
Yeah.
See, that's like all on my phone.
Yeah.
Like I'll literally film videos with my camera and upload it to my computer and then send it to my phone and edit on there.
Yeah, it's better. I mean, it's so easy. That's why I got the tablet. Like I use LumaFusion for my video editing mostly, and it's amazing. Like, it's just it was a $20 app, you know, but it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's
and you can do it on the go and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And,
that's the thing, because like the computer, it's hard to like find the time to pull it out, and you got to open it. Who wants to open something?
Who wants to open things?
I got no time for that. But yeah, so that's really good, the apps and stuff. I'll have to try CapCut. What else? What other editing stuff do you use?
I'll use DaVinci Resolve sometimes for videos, and then for pictures, just Lightroom.
Lightroom. Do you have to pay for that?
I do. I pay for it.
Yeah, it's like Adobe.
I don't know if you do. Yeah, it's Adobe. I don't know if you have to pay for it right out or if you just have to pay for other features, but I just pay for it just because I need it, you know.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, those apps are crazy. There's so many. And I get swept up. I'm like, I don't know which one. I need one now I can just throw all my videos into, and it just makes something for me.
Well, they're coming out with all that AI shit.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sketchy. I feel like I need to know what's happening, like how it's editing it.
Yeah.
Because I have my own personal creativity, so it's like...
Yeah.
That's one thing probably AI won't be able to do, is just have that personal creative mind that you have, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it might.
Yeah, it might.
Some of those
read
things.
your mind and shit. And
it learns how you think and talk. And
yeah.
There's Arnold Schwarzenegger has a podcast that I have listened to, right? And it's funny, but it's automated. Like he's like, I use the power of machines to, and it's an AI voice that he like scripts or something, and he explained how he like it learns.
You think he'd be the last person to fucking use
right?
AI.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what the hell? But it's so funny because it's like the positive corner of the internet, like, and he talks about like fitness. And, but he's using AI to make this damn podcast. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So he's not even doing it. He's just like maybe giving it stuff to write a podcast about pull-ups and you know. So it's crazy how we're getting there. But it's learning. That was the main point of that, was that it learns how you talk. So when you use like ChatGPT and stuff.
Yeah.
I found that out. I didn't know that you could do that when you tell it to write something. You know how it writes articles, or you could write a book with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But you could tell it to write it like
as somebody else.
Ryan Holiday or from, you know, Daily Stoic or whatever. Like you could tell him to write it as someone else, and it like knows how to do it. It's crazy. Yeah,
my buddy, he actually trains the guy who made ChatGPT. He trains his brother in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
He's a personal trainer.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. He's like training all these, you know, high tech
all these tech
Silicon
people,
Valley people.
San Francisco. That's where they're at. That's crazy.
Yeah, so he's doing really good out there.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about all the AI stuff?
I think it's fucking crazy. It's kind of scary, but I don't know. I like dabble in it a little bit, but not.
I saw you did some of the AI photo stuff.
Yeah, dude, you can do that like through Instagram.
Oh, okay.
They have like a little button, like when you post a story or like a picture or whatever. There's like a little box there. You click that and you can type in. It's not very good or anything.
Yeah, starter
There's like
stuff.
Better apps, I'm sure, but I was just fucking around with it.
It's all integrated. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But also, there's a part of me that doesn't like it because it's not your own personal creativity. It's something else creating it for you. So like takes all the work out of everything.
Yeah. It's the. You ever heard of Peter McKinnon?
Yeah.
So that guy, like I like watching his videos.
Yeah, he's good.
He talks about that. Like, photography was you had to capture the moment, and then it became like editing, and then the editing became, you know, like it's this evolution of like is it cheating? Is it not?
Yeah.
Is it, because now even photos are all, you could change the background, add a sky. It's crazy.
It's insane.
There's not LumaFusion. I can't remember. There's one that does that stuff really good, and you can like swap out the skies and add, whatever, you can put it all together. It's pretty cool.
I mean, I guess they had that with Photoshop to start with, but that's so technical, and you have to learn so much with it.
And there's different styles, so that's good that you like the more of the true form. You don't want to make it crazy, purple skies and unicorns and all that stuff.
This is what I see. That was what's there. I mean, there's still like little bits of editing that I do, or remove things and here and there.
Yeah,
not
bring out colors and stuff.
Yeah,
I like that stuff. Yeah, it's really crazy. I think here we have some of the most beautiful skies. I mean, I haven't been everywhere, but out of the places I've been, it's really cool. The dramatic backdrop, the mountains. And
especially when there's like clouds and stuff. We have like the best clouds here, I feel like.
Yeah, that's like my favorite day is when the snow-capped mountains, like after the first snow in the winter, it looks all crazy. I was thinking, there's a little run I used to do, and it goes like, out by Whitewater where the train tracks are and stuff. You kind of take those back roads, and you can get some good views of the mountains, and it's just like a good little drive to go take photos of stuff. Yeah,
definitely.
I have to go out there and do that. I used to say, I need to go on a trip to go get some footage. And I'm like, wait, everybody comes here.
Yeah, for real.
Where am I going?
It's weird to think, like growing up here, it's just weird to think that this is such a touristy vacation spot.
Yeah.
And then everybody thinks like, oh, you live in Palm Springs, that's like paradise. I'm like, no, it's not, dude.
Yeah.
Not when you grow up here.
It's just a desert, but people love it.
Yeah.
Or like the things we see, we're like, I see that every day, but people want to see it.
Yeah. Or people don't realize like all the bad shit that kind of happened here growing up, for me at least. Like, all my friends got into hard drugs and went to jail, like all kinds of shit,
Yeah.
Fights, just everything like that.
Yeah, it did happen out here. I'm happy that I made it this far, like there's a lot of my friends that are worse off. So I'm just pretty grateful. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 44 now.
44. When did you move out here?
From when I was like 6 was the first time I came out here. And I moved back and forth from Chicago, and then I lived in San Diego, and I lived in LA for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But I always ended up back here because my parents were here. So,
right.
Yeah. So I came out here, made friends, and then went back for some school because my parents were like splitting up. And my mom would take me back to Chicago, and she left. Her and my dad split up like 3 or 4 times. I have 3 older brothers, so it's like she took one brother and left and came back, and then depending on the age bracket, and then I was last, and then she took me, and then and then they finally got divorced and stuff. But it was cool going back and forth because I was like, when I go to Chicago, I was the kid from California, and when I came to California, I was the kid from Chicago, and so it's
interesting.
You're different, you're not the same. Everything's different. So I came out here, and it was just a whole new world. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I didn't have any experience like moving around as a kid at all. Like I lived in the same house my whole life, so when I left for the military, that was like a huge change for me. Yeah,
it's crazy how different things are not too far away.
Yeah, I know. Everything's kind of the same.
Yeah.
But different.
Yeah, when you get out, you're like, wow. The world, it could be, it depends how you look at it, right? It's a small world because there's a lot of people that know each other connected far away, but then it's really similar.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities too.
Yeah, for sure.
Between big cities and stuff. So I noticed that like there's all these little, it's like little Tokyo or like little cultural centers, and that's similar through every city,
Crazy times.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right.
So I think we'll wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Good talk. We'll get you back in here again.
Oh yeah.
And let's work on that podcast for you, and maybe we'll get some other guys in here. Cool.
All
Good
right,
shit. All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.